So a few months back, I made a video that was titled, "The Happiness of Your Life is Based Upon the Quality of Your Thoughts," which was a quote by Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Now today I'd like to elaborate a little bit further into what that exactly entails and how we can apply it in your life right now. So right now, what we all need to do is take 100% responsibility for absolutely everything that has happened to us in our life. That's right, we need to take 100% responsibility for everything that has happened to us in our life, including our own thoughts and our own state of mind. While I'm aware that we may not be responsible for the things that have happened to us, we may not be at fault at the whims of random chance that have provided hardship, that have provided misfortune. However, we are responsible for how we respond to these situations. Now, regarding happiness, now I'm aware that your state of mind is based upon many factors. It's a multifactorial concept. Now, in order to understand happiness and unhappiness, we need to discover the root. Now, many people are unhappy for many reasons. Perhaps you experienced a traumatic event earlier in your life. Perhaps you experienced a number of unfortunate circumstances that have accumulated over time, that have ingrained and weighed into our subconscious mind, that have just plagued us with this dark shadow that lurks above us time in and time in, and we're unable to consciously override that. There's a number of reasons. Perhaps you can't even remember why you're unhappy. Anyway, it's irrelevant because we cannot control the circumstances. We cannot control the circumstances that have happened to us. We can control our response, including the mental focus, self-language, and body language, all which coordinate directly with our state of mind. If we're able to consciously control those three elements of how we respond to the circumstances, we can then begin to rebuild our subconscious mind and we rebuild our thought process in order to better gear ourselves toward happiness, better quality of life, and a better state of mind. Again, the three things that we have control over are our mental focus. What are we choosing to focus on in an unfortunate situation? Are we choosing to focus on the problem, or are we choosing to focus on the solution? We choose our self-language. Are we engaging in concepts and acts of self-sabotage? Are we self-sabotaging ourselves by telling us how pitiful we are in life, about how worthless we are in life, about how we'll never amount to anything in life? Self-language speaks volumes, and it weighs in on the subconscious mind. Our body language, again, our body language is often a direct result, of a direct manifestation, rather, of our state of mind. Now, if we can choose to focus on those three things and gear them into a more of a productive manner, then we can regain the control over our lives, and that is something we truly need to focus on. The last thing that we should ever do is blame others for an unfortunate situation. We should never blame others, we should never blame a situation, and we should certainly never blame ourselves, even if we are at fault partially for the situation. For example, if I drive to the store at 10 p.m. at night, and it's dark out, and I park somewhere off into the far left area of the parking lot under no lighting, and I go into the store, and I come to find out that upon getting back into my car, that my car has been broken into, the windows are shattered, somebody had thrown a brick through it and stolen a bunch of merchandise out of my car. Now I'm missing my wallet because I forgot to bring my wallet in with me. Well, now, I might be pissed off, I might be frustrated. I might start blaming the store for not having proper surveillance system on their the exterior of their store to provide full coverage of the parking lot, because it's the store's responsibility, obviously, to make sure that my valuables are maintained. That's the first thing that an irresponsible person would do, is to blame something or someone else for their unfortunate circumstances. What we can do, however, in that situation is, first of all, we need to accept what's happened. We need to accept what's happened because we cannot change what's happened. Two, we need to reappraise the situation. Is there anything we could have done in our power to prevent or at least diminish the odds of that situation from happening? Perhaps I could have parked closer to the store. Perhaps I could have parked under a well-lit area. Perhaps I could have parked closer to other vehicles. Perhaps that would have eliminated some of the chances of having this situation from happening. Maybe it wouldn't, but these are steps that I could have taken to prevent it from happening, or at least reducing the odds of it from happening. Now, what I need to do is I need to stop pointing the finger outward. I need to take responsibility for what's happened. I need to regroup. I need to recollect my thoughts. I need to figure out what can I do to ensure this doesn't happen to myself next time, and take the necessary steps in order to move forward. Remember, we're never bound by the circumstances, but we can potentially be bound by our mind and how we choose to respond to those circumstances. You should never feel sorry for yourself, ever. Never feel sorry for yourself, regardless of what has happened to you. And this can be applied to a wide array of aspects in life. If you have undergone astronomical hardship, Maybe it's an unfortunate circumstance to what I've previously described. Perhaps it's a traumatic event that you experienced earlier on in life. Regardless of what it is, we cannot blame ourselves and we cannot engage in self-pity. And never, ever depend on others to make yourself feel better. Ever. If you depend on others to make yourself feel better, eventually what you'll do is you'll create a dependency that will only provide short-term satisfaction that actually masks a deeper aspect of yourself. When we engage in self-pity, we create this sense of sympathy that we demand almost from others, that they give to us. When we demand that from others, we'll become dependent on that to ensure that we're brought back up out of the funk that we're in. But that will only provide temporary satisfaction over a much deeper issue that we need to address. Remember, we all have the power to change if we choose to focus on the proper things to focus on. If we choose to apply the proper mental focus, the proper self-language, the proper physiology, we have the power to change. So, are you going to be a victor in life or are you going to be a victim? The choice is 100% yours.